we have laughed probably more than we ever had laughed before the start of an episode.
That's facts.
Yeah, aside from last week.
We've also lied to every one of our guests and told them they're the funniest. So, you know.
That's how you keep guests coming on.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's start the show.
This is the podcast where we visit all 77 of Chicago's historic neighborhoods and discuss their heritage and taste the amazing food.
And if you know anything about us, we love two things, food and Chicago, so I can't wait to burn this gas money.
You ready?
Let's get it.
This is the 77 Flavors of Chicago, the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to
Hello.
another dope episode of 77 Flavors of Chicago.
Yep.
Dario.
Sarah.
Here with our guest this week, Tommy Henry of the podcast, Chicago History Podcast. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, boy.
Did I sound...
We've gone full morning shock DJ. I didn't know I was signing up for this.
Yes.
A rogue podcast,
It is.
Tommy.
Flavor Zoo. Oh,
That's
boy.
right.
This is going to be rough.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I meant fun.
Yeah.
Did I say
He
rough?
said-
I
he
meant
said-
fun.
He didn't mean to say rough.
No.
He
I meant
just-
fun. I get confused.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Tommy, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And where are we, by the way? Are
We-
you going to tell everybody?
Yeah. We are on location again. Sarah hates when I say
I
that.
hate when he says that. Because we always record not in a studio. You know? So
Yeah.
they know.
Oh,
like
so for
saying-
him to say on location, it's silly.
It's silly.
Of course we're on location.
Of course.
What if we have a new listener that has no clue, right?
Well, shit.
Well, shit.
So where are we on location?
Freddy's on 31st. look at. I like Tommy
Bridgeport?
keeping us in check. Yeah.
Tommy's like, I'm running this shit. This is amateur hour right here. It's like you...
There are kids here.
Oh, there's kid.
There's kid.
My bad. There's kid.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, but we're Freddy's on 31st Street, right here in Bridgeport is the neighborhood. I got some hair right there.
Yeah, it's my hair on the mic.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
I was sitting up and my hair got caught on the
Okay,
mic.
yeah, we keeping that in too. But how you doing, Tommy?
I'm doing great. This honestly is a thrill. I was telling you guys earlier that I can't believe no one had thought to do this before.
Yeah.
You guys jumped in.
Neither
So-
can we. We can't believe it, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, we were saying again, and we've told people this, but we still can't believe this.
Yeah, we're so glad no one was this creative.
Yeah. We're so glad.
So glad everyone's living mediocre lives out there.
Our brain worked
Continue
first.
to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're so grateful.
Oh man, that's cool. So, but you run a podcast, Chicago History Podcast. You want to talk to us about that?
Sure. So I spent some time doing creative back in college 100 years ago when you would edit using a metal block and a razor blade.
Stop it.
No. This is serious. This is how old I am. So to edit anything,
It's
audio
like
or related.
1893?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I went to school
First
with
World
Thomas
Fair.
Edison. That's how old I am.
You don't even look old, Tommy.
At all.
Listen, you're very sweet. Listen, you already bought me a hot dog and beer, so
I mean, you and
I'm
Di
a
are probably
happy
the
guy.
same age.
Come on,
That's
like
not true
stop
at
it.
all. So anyway, I did a lot of creative stuff when I was younger. I became a parent, and the creative kind of went away. And during the quarantine, I had an idea for a podcast that I wanted to do. I've always enjoyed history, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this and see what happens. And maybe people listen, and maybe they won't.
And they have.
Yes.
Like a lot of them.
Yeah. To a good tune, but
mean-
very modest you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I like to hear the sound of my own voice.
Yeah.
Because it's sexy.
It sounds good. Go ahead.
And I like to talk about Chicago. It's my
Yeah.
favorite city in the world. It is the greatest city in the world.
Hey.
There's your coin.
And there we have Mario sound effects.
Oh, just wait. I got more.
Oh boy.
We don't call it the Mario sound effect.
Oh,
though, 'cause
sorry.
the-
Nintendo will sue us.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Nintendo doesn't. They're like, they'll never know we exist.
I'm okay with that.
We can plug,
Yeah.
So did you ever have, besides being interested in history, was there ever a connect other than the interest? Like, did you ever, I don't know, work in anything really? I don't know, what do historians do?
Well, no. So I didn't go to school for history. I've never worked in a museum or even in a library.
Right,
I
there you
just,
go.
kind of a closet history nerd, which is why I tend to hashtag everything with history nerd. It's I just enjoy it. And, I found a lot of people who are also super into history, but don't really have an outlet for it.
Right.
So, and that may be why the podcasts and, specials on WTTW do as well as they do.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I think to go along with all that and kind of like starting out with talking about history, because we're doing the same thing here, it's just a love for Chicago, and we have a huge ego, here in Chicago where we just love ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, like, anytime you say, hey, look, Chicago history, anything, like you were saying before, it's easy grab for us, as Chicagoans here. So I know I love Chicago.
Yeah.
I got the
there's a lot of history. There's so much variety of history. Obviously, if I was more into sports, I might have done a sports podcast, although I think there are 15 of those.
Yeah.
At least.
So, right, exactly. So, I don't know. I enjoy talking about history. I enjoy the researching. I enjoy the whole process. Yeah. I would probably do it even if there were 5 listeners a week. But
we said the
luckily,
same thing.
I have 12. So, and
That's pretty
thanks
good.
to each of you who crossed over to listen to this podcast just to hear me talk more. It's very nice.
So we got 12 more.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've had some. You have guests on your episodes on some of them. You've had some really cool guests. Which one was your favorite?
Oh, they were all my favorite.
No, don't say that. That's bullshit.
They were all my
I don't
favorite.
believe that.
No, the nice thing about talking to some of these people is I realize that there are connections outside of history and books or whatever they've been working on. So I had interviewed a guy named John Lyons who wrote a book called Joy and Fear, the Beatles, Chicago, and the 1960s. I feel like I got that wrong, John. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But in talking to him about his book and the project, I realized that we had a lot of other connections that I might not have known otherwise. So I don't want to say I made a friend in my advanced years, but, it's kind of nice to be able to meet people and make connections, kind of like I'm doing with you two here today.
That's pretty cool.
Although I'll likely never talk to you again.
Wow, Tommy.
Just so you know.
So all 12 listeners, you heard them. No, you got to go follow his podcast now. No, but I agree because we've met so many different people in just the short 28 shows that we've done. And we do honestly talk to all of them, and still interact with them. Social media, we've met up a few times with a couple of them. So I think that's probably the best thing about this is that, all of us have shared interests in Chicago, and that bond kind of just.
And we would have never met them otherwise. I feel like, where would we have met?
Nice to make new connections.
Yeah.
You send somebody an email and they say yes or no. Why would I say no to you too?
Yes. Right. There's no reason you would say no.
Yeah.
I'd
We're
be
delightful.
foolish. I'd be foolish. You are delightful.
Yeah,
And as anyone who knows me, I rarely use the word delightful, but I will use it with you, and I will use it more often than just now.
We love it. I told you, we've been laughing like ever since we got here, man.
Yeah.
This is fun. So your podcast. So I know we asked, and I wonder if other listeners have the same question. How do you number the podcast? Because we were like, what?
I was like 404. No.
So far I've done. I'm on my 4th season of 25 episodes. So I do. Season 1 is 101, and then I get up to 25, and then I start over.
Gotcha.
So it helps me keep it straight.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. You said it like TV, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I'm actually closing in on, not quite, but I'm closing in on 100 full-length episodes. Yes. And then I have a bunch of minis and kind of extras. And I like to say there's something for everybody. If you're into sports, if you're into movies, if you're into whatever, true crime, a lot of those.
Yeah, you had Jeffrey Bear on.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Bear is like part of the reason why I really like doing what I do.
Sure.
Right now, because I've watched everything he's done.
Yeah.
And just hearing, anytime I get a chance to kind of see him, he loves the city. He loves Illinois. He loves the travel. He loves the history part of things. And it's something about him talking about it just that feels good.
Yeah. No, he's great. His producer, Eddie Griffin. So Jeffrey and his producer, Eddie Griffin, were on a couple weeks ago talking about Behind Chicago from the Air, which is on WTTW.com. Check it out. I mean, you can't find people who love the city more than those guys.
Right. That was the first show we watched, we binged in quarantine, was all of Jeffrey Bear's old episodes.
All the old documentaries?
All of it, man.
It's great when he had super brown hair.
Yes,
and he was,
What's funny is that, so when she's talking about, we actually went out and bought an Apple TV. We had just renovated the den area, right?
Sure.
And it was just a nice space. We were like,
Yeah,
man,
it
let's
was
just
like
sit
a
out
little
here.
cozy spot.
Yeah, but we don't have cable out there, so I said, let's just go get an Apple TV. Put the Apple TV right there, and the first thing we watched was all Jeffrey Bear stuff.
Yeah.
So man, I mean,
it's easy to watch it for hours. And
Literally hours. we
hours,
said.
you know, and he's been doing it since I want to say
Sure.
98, 90.
I don't know off the top of my head, but that doesn't sound wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it for a while, and
Yeah.
I've seen probably his whole catalog at least twice.
Yeah.
At least twice,
That's
all the
crazy.
way through. So
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you also have some really cool pictures that you post.
Yes.
After the episode, you also have a YouTube channel where you post video, like visuals of. But the photos are really cool. How do you pick the topics? How do you? I know when you have a guest on or you request, that's easy to come up with. But
Sure.
when it's, how do you come up with the topics?
So newspapers.com is one of my
Okay.
primary sources. So
Okay.
I love to be able to go back.
Write that down. Newspapers.
I think they have Chicago Tribune back to like 1856.
Oh wow.
wow.
And so what has happened often is I'll start researching one topic, and then, on the same page there'll be something else where I'll go, wait a minute, what? Like, I didn't know anything about that. And so I kind of make a little note, like, I need to go back and, read about this, big armored express heist back in 1974 that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
So I have on my computer all of these folders of ideas.
Oh, nice.
And a friend of mine once said, well, what are you going to do when you run out of ideas? And I said, oh, that will never happen.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah,
no.
that will
Ever.
never happen. There's
Yeah.
always something to talk about in Chicago's history.
Absolutely.
And so, again, looking at my disorganized folders in my computer, you'd know why. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, you've got 100 things in the wings.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Chicago. I mean, we create history every day.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
to go and talk about it, I just we got some stuff here that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Then.
Yeah.
My last question is: do you have a favorite Chicago?
It doesn't have to be your last question.
Well, my last question ever.
I could look at your super long eyelashes all day long.
Thank you
Hey,
so
hey,
much.
hey,
I
hey,
just
wait,
got them done.
hold on.
Let me take a-
No,
What
we'll
sound
take-
effect? Wait,
we'll
what
take
sound
the
effects?
compliment.
Let me get it. Hold on.
Hold on. Oh, see? Yeah.
They are nice lashes.
Dario hates it when we get flirty. But I'm sorry. What was your question?
Well, my question is: do you have a favorite Chicago fact that you like to share with people?
You know what? I really don't. Like,
No?
I wish I was the kind of guy that could throw out facts. And, I am the kind of guy that if I go to a building, I will say, oh, this used to be something, 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 or something, happened here. But
Yeah.
I don't have like a wallet full of facts that I
that's
can
fair.
throw out at you.
That's fair.
You know, it's almost hard with the city because everything is like a parody. From
Right.
what we found from episode to episode, we've told one story about one particular community area, and then 2 or 3 episodes later, that episode is tied back to what we just talked about 2 or 3
Yeah.
episodes ago. So it's pretty cool that like one story is like linked to everything, really. One kind of narrative, so to
Yeah.
say. So
Yeah.
I'm the same way. It's hard to say, hey, that fact is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my favorite one is that the spray
oh yeah.
the spray paint can
Spray
was
paint.
invented in
Did
Chicago.
you know that?
Which, and you realize why that's
Isn't that
so
crazy?
ironic, because you can't buy spray paint in Chicago.
Really?
You cannot buy spray paint in the city of Chicago.
know
You have to
that.
go to the suburbs.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
of tagging,
that's
and it's
dedication.
made a huge difference in all the tagging. You don't see any
Really?
tagging or any spray paint anywhere. I'm kidding; it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
I was
So
like-
they're
yeah,
driving
yeah.
to Skokie, getting spray paint, and then coming back to town.
Really?
I guess, yeah.
But for real, you can't buy.
You
spray
cannot
paint?
buy spray paint in Chicago,
And it was
That's
created
so-
here.
unless that's
Interesting.
changed recently. But yeah, you can't buy spray paint.
Wow.
Somebody will correct us if
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
changed. They'll
Holy-
be like,
but that-
actually,
That's what I'm
pretty
throwing
fun
out.
fact.
That's my favorite fact.
That's
It's
pretty
the opposite of your favorite
yeah,
fact.
it's the opposite.
completely
Yeah,
contrary.
exactly. You're like, I
There you
love that it
go.
was invented here. I'm like, you can't buy it here. Done. Now what are you going to do?
Yeah, now your fact is
Yeah.
irrelevant.
This
All
is,
right,
this is
fair.
the versus battle of Chicago history
I feel like
podcast.
there should have been a sound effect there.
Absolutely.
If I never see you again, have a good holiday season.
You too.
Good seeing you.
too.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, happy holidays, and the merry
keeping
bells
this in.
keep ringing.
That's
Happy
fantastic.
holidays to you.
Good seeing you.
That's staying in the.
He was
Yeah, yeah.
one of the Daily Clan. I'm not sure which one. I can't tell.
He definitely
Not
did.
one of the big dailies, but he was definitely a daily. We're in Bridgeport. They're all dailies.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's a good segue.
Yeah.
We can talk about the history. We are in Bridgeport, and for those of you keeping track, this is kind community area number 60 on the map.
I said, like that. That
like,
means anything.
Yeah.
No, I took your to mean like, oh, that is interesting. Not that, yeah.
Why? You could have said 47, and you'd be like, oh.
No, I would have said that's wrong because
Yeah, right.
I live near 47.
Right.
It's different.
I forget you know things.
Yeah, it's different. Hold on, can you see this on the camera?
Did we get to?
It's not a product plug.
But if they want to.
If they want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they owe us. Bridgeport, number 60. This is show number 28 for those keeping track. And let me just give you the boundaries.
So much math.
Yeah, I know. Let's tell you the boundaries. So right here, the boundaries are to the north, south branch of the Chicago River. Very important. I'll come back to that. Bubbly Creek to the west, which I'll talk about that one. Pershing Road to the south, and to the east, Union Pacific Railroad tracks. So those are the boundaries for those that want to know where we are,
nice.
where we're located here in the city. And I want to give you some quick history about Chicago, about this area. This was originally called the Portage de Chicago. And that was given by Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet.
There's a bunch of French words.
Yeah.
Considering he grew up not far from Joliet, I can't believe that he stumbled so hard on Joliet. Yeah.
But the other words.
Yeah. The other words he made a good try at, and then he was like, forget it. By the time he gets to Joliet, he was like, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to give it up. That's fantastic. Jeez.
That deserves some applause.
But please go on. Holy. Oh, boy.
I'm hot. This is the first time a guest called me out like that.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, y'all know what the hell I was talking about.
Google it. No,
Google it.
Don't Google it. Listen to the podcast.
That was back in 1673. Now, here's some interesting things. So we talked about the parody just a little minute ago. A lot of the history came after Fort Dearborn. And the massacre that happened with Fort Dearborn, 1816, there was a trading post that was rebuilt, and trading post back in those days was kind of where business and kind of life happened around the trading post. This particular one was called Hard Scrabble.
Hard Scrabble?
Yes. I wish I could make that up, but it was called Hard Scrabble. And the reason why it was called...
Who was naming shit in the 1800s? Like, who was just out here...
But that's no effort. If you want to say they were naming it, I feel like they saw two things and were like, "What is this? Hard? It's Scrabble." I don't know how you come up with that.
I don't know.
But that trading post is kind of like where a lot of people met. And one of the couple of people that met there is one guy by the name of Russell E. Heacock. Now, the reason why I'm bringing him out is he was the only person. He was a school teacher, and back in that day, he was the only person that was opposed to making the town of Chicago incorporated. He was the only person that was like, no, we shouldn't do this.
And why is that?
He just felt like this wasn't a good area. Because of the massacre and the traffic.
Well, massacre.
Massacre.
Super swampy at the time.
Yeah. So he was like, no, this is trash.
So he got voted down.
He got voted down, of course.
Obviously, because we're sitting in Chicago today.
End of the story.
Sorry, spoiler. Oh, shoot.
You didn't know?
I forgot to give a spoiler. Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, boy.
We're still here.
Oh, boy. Sorry.
The story of Bridgeport of Portage. You lost it. We lost. Sarah's going. You won. You won. These people in here probably like, what the hell is going on? But the story of Portage de Chicago is that it was began by the Illinois and Michigan Canal. In the Michigan, that canal was meant to connect the Great Lakes to Mississippi River and the Gulf of Mexico. But along with that came a lot of work. So, it brought people here to kind of give people work.
I'm trying to imagine, I'm trying to make a visual in my head of the Chicago River and Gulf of Mexico.
Well, no. It was a canal. It's just a piece that connected. And so along those lines, it ran from Chicago River to the Illinois River at LaSalle and Peru. So southwest, of course, as you get along the western edge of Illinois. So it ran down there. It was 96 miles. So,
damn.
Yeah, 96 miles. So
He's done his research.
Yeah, yeah.
I have nothing to contribute.
Yeah.
Please.
Do you know how long the Nile River is?
I do not. Do you
Just
know?
in comparison. No, sure.
No. That was a random answer. I thought you knew.
Well, no, like in comparison.
Yeah, you better know the answer. Because when people are like, because I don't know either. Like, no, you gotta.
All right, moving
There's got to
on.
be a payoff there.
Do I need to know?
Oh, do you really not know?
No, I don't.
I don't know. Either.
Oh, I was kidding.
That was just.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
see.
Like, it's okay.
Luckily, we have a tiny computer in front of us.
You know, remember
Isn't
when
that-
teacher said we would never?
It's 4,159 miles.
So we were just off by a little bit.
just by a little. Just
a hair.
Be. Yeah, a hair.
We were off by a hair. Okay.
It's
Anyway,
also a canal, but all right.
Don't talk about my canals. He's like, why
Tommy's
did
like,
I?
let me chug this
What
beer.
is going? Time to go. Time to go. No. But let's see what else we got here. The Chicago was let's see. So this helped establish. It helped establish obviously transportation and solidify Chicago as like a hub in the Midwest, and especially the whole United States, because this was before the railroad era. So before all that, all we had were canals and water transport and such like that. So Chicago kind of made its name. That's why we're one of the busiest port areas, especially here in the Midwest. We put the work in.
Right. You know, actually, when I first started working in logistics, it really blew my mind that so many, like Chicago was still a hub, even though we don't have an actual port because clearly there's no water for the port to come into. But it's still to this day, it's like where most of the cargo in the country comes before it's distributed. If it's not going into Jersey, Seattle, Houston, or LA.
Yeah, I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, look, we kind of set the tone early.
It helps to have a giant airport that, you know.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Well, it's the train, too. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the rail comes into the city, especially the south side of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
64th Street.
There you go. Look at her knowing.
I mean,
Logistics.
it's literally my job.
She got a logistics mind.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's like, it was like forced into me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what she said. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not pressing the button
No,
for that one.
don't. That's terrible.
Do you have like wah wah sound effect? I want something like that.
You want something
Hold
like
on.
that?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get it.
Yeah, there you go. See, every time you make a really horrible reference like that,
Sorry.
yeah, I want it. I mean, to have that at the ready.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Have it at the ready.
Yeah.
I like it. That canal opened up in 1848.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'll just do it anyway.
I gotta be better. I gotta be better at this. And it went all the way until it ceased operation, 1933, because of the Illinois water work in that time. And if you just remember from the last episode, anybody listening, we know what happened in 1933. The second World's Fair was here in Chicago.
Do you know they had mermaids at the World Fair?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Do you know mermaids are real?
Come on.
Do you believe in mermaids?
I believe in manatees that drunken sailors used to think look like women.
No.
I mean, yes, of course. I saw Splash. Of course, I believe in mermaids.
You don't believe in
They all look like Daryl Hannah.
No, but like they're
Circa 1984,
but
Daryl
could-
Hannah.
Okay, but do you
Not
believe
now.
in the possibility of mermaids? Do you think it's possible that we have mermaids?
I think anything is possible.
Good enough for me. All right, let's move on. He believes in mermaids.
No, look.
Tommy believes in. That's going to be the headline.
Yeah.
Tommy don't believe
She's
in
like,
mermaids.
I'm editing it. To,
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it sound like, yes, I believe in mermaids. Yeah, just a bunch of different audio drops.
Yeah. Smart. We got it.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
it.
Although she'll make you do
Yeah,
the
that- I'll
editing.
be the
She'll be
one.
like, Make it
It's
sound like he said it.
And somehow I'll do that.
Yeah.
Somehow I'll do it.
We'll add music in the background
Yeah.
so it sounds like he was
Make it
being
super loud.
musical. Yeah.
Not that music.
Not that.
No, that's horrible music.
Yeah, we'll
What
be
kind
That's
of
not
music?
believable.
What would you like? What kind of? If you were to pick a beat,
for a
like
mermaid.
ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, is that
That's
good?
what
Is
I
that
had in
good?
my head.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Sorry. Continue.
This is perfect.
No, I want to hear
this is
your
what we do.
Bridgeport facts.
No, yeah. The area obviously brought in a lot of work with the Irish, German, and Norwegian back in the 40s. In 30s and 40s, and they worked on lumber yards, manufacturing plants, and meat packaging plants. And the reason why that's important is because I mentioned Bubbly Creek is to the west.
Segue.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it. Ooh.
Yeah, Bubbly Creek. And for those that didn't watch us on the Chicago Architecture Open House Month and in the app, we talked about this, but I'll tell you again. Bubbly Creek is called Bubbly Creek because the meat packaging companies used to take the scraps and the stuff that they weren't using and all the other nasty stuff and just dump it into the river,
Yep.
the canal right there. And all the mixture of everything, the gases, the smells, the old decayed meat, decomposed stuff.
This is how he gets flirty.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
He's
that's how-
super flirty now.
All
So
that decayed
please
meat.
go- oh, yeah. Tell me more about the
Hold on,
decay.
hold on, I got more
wait,
for
he's
you.
got a sound effect.
Yeah. The decayed meat that was once dumped.
That's like the opposite of a flirt.
Wait, is this like church music?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Tommy.
you should turn that off. Sorry, Bubbly Creek, go.
Have you been to Bubbly Creek?
You know, I have not spent a lot of time at Bubbly Creek.
No.
But I want to hear what he leaves out, though. So I can jump in and add some stuff.
Yeah.
No, Bubbly Creek.
Yeah.
So basically, the gases and all the smells and everything and all the food, they just created literal bubbles and a really nasty smell. So they easily called it Bubbly Creek.
So the amount of fat that would rise to the top of the water
Yeah.
would, on occasion, catch on fire. And they would have to call the fire department in to put out the fire on the water, which imagine a water, thank you, imagine water on fire. How
Yeah.
crazy that was.
Totally.
And
That's insane.
I recently talked to a guy named Martin Billheimer,
Yes.
who wrote a book called Mother Chicago. We talked about Bubbly Creek. Apparently that was also a place where if someone was rubbed out, maybe mob, maybe
Yes,
not,
mob,
here in
yeah.
Chicago,
Yeah.
Bubbly Creek
Is that-
was the
is that
place to
murdered?
dump them.
Is that murder?
Yeah.
They were
Well,
murdered.
rubbed
Yeah,
out is
yeah,
one of those
same
local
thing.
things.
Yeah.
They didn't say that in Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would dump the body in Bubbly Creek. It would just get all mixed up with all the other stuff. Probably decompose much faster.
Yes.
Creepy. Yeah. But for those of you out there who may not know Chicago all that well, they have done a lot to clean up Bubbly Creek. The meat products are not dumped there.
Then I dumped it.
There's far less mob people, mob victims.
Pretty decent now.
Yeah.
It looks decent.
Would you swim there?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, I would not
She was
swim.
quick
No.
to say no.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you
So-
just look. You could just look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks nice over there, though.
It looks all right.
Decent to look at, not
Yeah.
to swim in.
No.
There's like a little trail you can walk that they've beautified, but then obviously
Graffiti, the spray
graffiti.
paint.
Yeah.
The spray paint.
With the
with the
suburban spray
suburban,
paint.
yeah,
Skokie.
Suburban
yeah.
spray paint.
Skokie paint.
Yeah.
spray paint.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute. Across from where we recorded our video, which I don't know which side of the river we were on, but there's
The
an
good
act-
side.
Good side.
I think we were
Easily.
on not the best. There were a lot of spiders. I don't know. It wasn't that great.
That's why it was bad. It was the
Yeah,
spider.
it was a lot of spiders. There was a little lizard. I was just not a fan. He was like all the way, almost in the
I
river.
didn't even see the lizard.
Well, I was holding the camera. I was like, if I tell him there's a lizard right now, when we
I'm
both
losing my
start
shit.
running,
Would he shriek like an old woman and
Possibly.
jump on the hood of the car?
there-
To get away from
if
the
there was
lizard.
a car,
Yeah.
probably.
Now that's good lizard shriek music. See? Every once in a while you find the right drop.
I got you. I got you. I got you,
That
man.
was a good one.
It's come a long way. 28th episode, we finally got it.
I'm on it. I'm
You
on
finally
it.
got it.
I'm working.
I like
I'm
it.
working on it. Just to round it out here, we're just almost done here. So this area, in addition to the folks that I already named that kind of settled here, in 2008, Chicago Sun-Times deemed this one of the 4 most diverse community areas in Chicago, with a huge population of Italians, Lithuanians, Mexican American, and Chinese Americans. So, and that's crazy to think, Bridgeport being one of the more diverse, because we're getting further south, you know what I mean? Like, we've in
Yeah.
our history, we know what happens, they change,
Yep.
but this is one of the more diverse areas in the city, in Chicago. So
Nice.
pretty cool.
I like Bridgeport.
Yeah, I
One
mean,
of my favorite.
yeah,
neighborhoods.
Bridgeport has always been dope. I mean, like I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm a Cubs fan. I whisper that.
Is this
I'm a
not?
Cubs fan.
Is this not Cubs territory?
Yeah, this is definitely not Cubs.
Yeah.
This is,
White Sox.
Yeah, so White Sox is like
Sox?
half a mile from
Yes.
here.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, super close.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But go Cubs, go.
What go Cubs go?
Old man.
Get canceled.
Go. What is your sweatshirt, Tommy?
Oh, I'm wearing a Chicago Dogs playoffs. Chicago Dogs is a minor league team that plays out near Rosemont by the O'Hare Airport. I figured, even living where I live on the north side near Wrigley Field, not too far from Wrigley Field, and actually having gone to more Sox games in the past couple of years, I figured this way I don't have to.
Non-controversial.
Right. If I'm walking in with a Cubs shirt in this neighborhood, I'm going to get a beat down.
Well, I did it one
So-
time. I did it.
Did you?
I do it all the time, actually.
You did get shit for it.
Well,
like
that's
someone
okay.
said something to you while we were in here,
It's okay. They're free to talk.
and the Sox were playing on the TV. So it was a hard day.
I wouldn't have done this interview. If I walked in, yeah, I would have been like, dude, not in this neighborhood.
Had you known, I was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Just really utterly disrespectful.
It's okay. I mean,
Know
I'm
your
a
surroundings.
I'm a diehard. I'm a diehard.
Our last episode, we had Chris Watask, who's the writer, the guy that started
Producer.
Chicago Party Ant,
Sure.
Yeah.
and he asked Artie, he's like, "How come you're a Cubs fan?" He was like,
They saw this show on TV.
Because the main character in that show was also, she grew up on the South Side, but she's also a Cubs fan, and she lives in Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's all they showed on TV when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like, WGN was, it's all I saw. I remember the day I saw that there was another
What do
Chicago
you mean that's all?
sports-
How come the Sox weren't on TV?
It wasn't as popular. WGN and the Cubs had a huge partnership. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in that time, so I mean, they got the TV exposure, a little bit more of a colorful team, so to say. And that's all we saw. I remember the day I saw there was another Chicago baseball team, and I remember saying to my dad, I was like, am I seeing this correctly?
That's
It's
interesting.
a team called the White Sox.
He was 27 at the time. So I'm not saying he was sheltered, but you were 27 before you knew that there was
How'd you
another
know?
team.
How'd you know that?
That's
That's
embarrassing.
crazy.
I had to call him up.
Yeah, your parents should really let you out of the house more often.
It was a plain field. It's all
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had 3 stations,
I
and
did.
one of them did not have the White Sox or news.
Yeah, right.
Newspapers are outlawed in Plainfield, along with books. Oh, why am I signing Plainfield? I like Plainfield.
Yeah, right. Right.
No one is listening to this podcast from Plainfield. You're all right.
Yeah. Plainfieldites. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
So some notable people. We get out of here. Notable people. This is the birthplace or home of 5 past Chicago mayors. So the Democratic machine was heavy here. It actually started here, but we'll list them off here. We got Edward Joseph Kelly, 1933 to 47. Martin H. Kinley, from 1947 to 55. After him was Richard J. Daley, 55 to 76 until he died. Michael A. Billendick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Michael Blandick.
There it is, Blandick. Oh,
For
man.
you Chicago people.
Yeah, thank you.
He knew. I'm distracting him by juggling.
No.
None of you can see right now except for you people on the cameras. But I'm juggling right now. Go on.
Thank you,
Michael Blandick.
Man, I was
Yeah.
look at shit. 77 to 79.
Yeah.
He actually.
You were negative years old.
I was -5 at that time, and then Richard M. Daley, 89 to 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Two
all.
Daleys.
Yeah, they all. Yeah. You knew that. You didn't know that?
Of course I knew.
Okay. Okay.
Of course.
Jordan.
How can I?
Jordan. Jordan.
We
yeah.
have dailies.
She's
in
from Jordan, not
Yeah.
from Plainfield.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We have books. We have books in Jordan.
She's
we
not
got
afraid of
internet
book
cafes.
learning.
No.
Yeah. She's not afraid of book learning in Jordan.
Shout out to all my people out there in Plainfield.
There's like
we mean
17
it.
of
No,
them.
no.
Plainfield represent.
Yeah, nobody says that.
No,
Nobody ever
Nobody
said
ever will.
Give them the
Nobody ever will.
Please don't. But that's a.
There you go. It's the blue one, right?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, green one. There you go.
Thank you. That's the facts.
Rough time at Bridgeport. I think you got everything.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
fantastic.
think I covered a lot.
I actually didn't know about the mayors other than Daley
Yeah.
being in Bridgeport.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's
You
kind
didn't
of
know
crazy.
that? That's crazy.
Yeah, although a little corruption with a couple of those mayors, not the Dailies,
Well, Dad.
Just a couple
but
of them.
those old timey guys.
Yeah. Right around 55, 47 was rough time. Rough timing. What you think?
For sure. Yeah, that's super interesting.
Super interesting. Super interesting.
Very interested.
Yeah.
Don't
She
quiz
was
me on any of the
spellbound.
facts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when I'm
One of her
listening.
hold on, one of your eyelash extensions was kind of drooping as your eye was
no,
shutting.
they're not. Hold on.
Hold on.
She got a check. Look at this.
Yeah.
Get out of
I
here.
just got
No.
them done.
No, I just meant because your eye was you were
No,
falling
you know
asleep.
what's funny is I'm so interested while he's talking, and I'm like trying to process, and I'm trying to remember other facts that we've talked about that sound similar, but once the episode is over,
Right out of your head.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gone. I have to re-listen to the episode to like relearn this,
Yeah.
because like
But then you give us an extra spin, so we appreciate it. We appreciate that.
Extra spin my own podcast.
Yeah, we're running past the
I mean, numbers is numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I'm 50% of them, but
Nice.
Anyway, that's the Chicago history portion of it.
Yep.
Ready to talk about some food? Because this food was really good here.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with food.
Yeah, buddy, here we go. We're going on break.
And we are back.
We're back.
Should've.
Yeah, there you go. I wasn't too far off. I was
That was
pretty
good.
close.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so before we jump into the food portion, I like to. Have you heard of the subreddit?
Just so
Am
you
I
know,
the
Sarah
Asshole?
is doing Candy Crush right now while we're doing this.
Yes, she is.
Why are you looking at your
Zoom
phone?
in, yeah.
Oh, is
Because
this
I'm about
part of
to
the
read
bit?
something.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, go
So
back.
I was saying before we jump into talking about the food and where we are, we do a piece out of this subreddit. Am I the asshole? Have you heard of that subreddit?
No, but that's me. If that's the question, I can jump right to the end. I'm that guy.
It's people vote which one of us is the no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
So
I went in on that.
People usually post stories on the subreddit and ask for other people's opinions. So they'll tell a story and people will vote if that person is the asshole, if there aren't, or if everyone in the story is the asshole. That is also an option. So I like to read a little story and then we talk about it. I try to make it related to food, but sometimes the funnier ones aren't. So this question is, am I the asshole for asking my wife to stop cooking Russian food? Okay, that's the title of the story. My wife is from Russia, and we've been married for 4 years. We decided to start a traditional family since I earn enough money to support a few people. And she just likes the idea of being a stay-at-home mom and wife.
Okay.
Therefore, I pay the bills. I already hate the story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For
Me
the
too.
family, in order for her to cook, clean, and take care of the kids. It's been going well so far, and both of us enjoy living that way. It's just that I kind of get a bit frustrated when it comes to her cooking food. Don't get me wrong, she's very skilled and I appreciate it, but it's just the type of food that's been bothering me for a bit. Her culture is important to her, which I totally get, so she cooks a lot of Russian food. However, I'm really not a fan of Russian cuisine because it's bland, in my opinion, and consists of basically only dough and meat, plus some dishes such as jelly meat don't appeal to me.
Jelly meat?
Yeah, so you boil the bones and they release this material that becomes gelatinous when you cool it. I suggest that she might want to try recipes that are not Russian or Slavic because I'm not a huge fan of it, but she was pretty offended. Yesterday, I overheard a conversation she had on the phone complaining to her friend about the situation, calling me a jerk. Am I the asshole?
Who's going to take this first?
Tommy?
All right, here's what I think. I think there's compromise in any relationship, and you can ask anyone who's ever broken up with me. I'm all about compromise. Listen, I get that maybe he's not a fan, but it is a part of her culture. So maybe find a way to dial it back. Maybe if she's like making it 7 days, dial it back to 3.
Yeah.
You know, pizza night, go out one night, maybe try some Italian.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more variety would be better for her.
I like that. Were you the person?
But yes, he is.
He is the asshole.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Were you the person responsible for cooking, or are you the person that contributed to ideas about food, or do you just a consumer?
No. I cook a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
very good at it. You know, people will often say to me like, "What do you want on your pizza?" I'm like, "Anything.
Yeah.
I'll eat
Okay,
anything.
you're
I
that
don't
person.
care. Whatever." Yeah. You know, what kind of food do you like? Is there anything you don't like? No. Like, where do you want to go? Chinese, Indian, whatever. I can eat anything. Yeah, I try to be pretty open-minded
That's pretty
about
good.
that
That's
stuff.
pretty good. What do you think, Mario?
About him? about this dude?
Yeah, about this
So,
dude.
yeah, I kind of agree with Tommy, though, because he could be a lot nicer in his
Yeah.
approach to it. Because I feel like because he pays for everything, he feels as if he has a little bit more say than he probably.
That came across in a big way,
Right?
didn't it?
Yes.
Like he's
I pay the
entitled.
bills,
Right.
so
Yeah.
shut
Yes.
up and make me a pizza.
Right,
Yeah.
you know, so I feel like if you don't like something, that's just different. You know what I mean? Like you don't have
Yeah.
a taste for it, that's cool. But like, I feel like he uses money as a well, I pay the bills, I should get what I want. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
he's an asshole just for that alone.
Right.
You could have your opinions about the food,
Yeah.
but just your approach is different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And as the person that makes most of the meals, and often asks Dario, what would you like to eat? And his answer is 9 out of 10 burgers.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, we don't eat burgers every week. I'll tell you that much. So,
I could, though.
I decide what we eat eventually because I have to.
If he had it his way, would it be burgers 7 days a week?
7 days a
Burgers all
week.
the time.
He'd have a
Or
breakfast
chicken.
burger, a lunch burger, and then a dinner burger.
Wow.
And if they made a dessert burger, he'd probably have that.
And
too.
then for dessert, an angioplasty to get some of the plaque out of his arteries.
Literally,
Yeah.
So no, we don't eat burgers every day. But if he could, he would. But never has he been like, ugh, this is bland. Make something different, woman. Like, imagine.
No. I mean, the way I look at it.
Yeah, I imagine the sound of the cast iron pan hitting his head
Basically,
would
yes.
deafen the neighborhood.
100%,
What was that sound?
100%.
Dario getting hit with a cast iron pan.
Yep, it's a
Again.
weekly thing. Yeah.
Had it coming.
I just feel like that's so disrespectful. And as someone from a different culture, like that came here, like moved here as an adult, I cooked a lot of Arabic food, and I still do. But when I try to be conscious of the fact that there are things that he's never tried that, for example, I like stuffed intestines, for example.
Never.
And he would never eat that.
For the record, all the pretty girls do. So
Thank you
you're
so
right
much.
on track. See
Thank
what
you
I
so
did there?
much.
I see what
You know, that's a dish that we eat.
Yeah.
I
Has he
know
ever tried
would-
it?
No.
No.
And
Well,
he
yes, I
probably-
have.
I mean, it's different, right? So different
prepared
cultures, it's
differently,
different, but it's a common meal,
Right.
really. So
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would not do it again. We had chitlins, and
But it's different.
Yeah.
Yours is pork. This is beef. It's complete and lamb. It's different.
It's just
whole different set of hooves.
Yeah.
okay. I mean, they
Do
can have
pigs
them.
have hooves?
What?
Stupid question. I knew the answer to that. Tommy was like, that is dumb as hell.
No, they wear moccasins. Everyone knows they wear moccasins.
Slides.
Yeah, they're
They got new Yeezys on.
Adidas slides.
Yeezys. Anyway, we are here. Freddy's
We are
on 31st.
Freddy's on 31st, which actually the original recommendation for this restaurant came from our friends who run the food blog Shy Food Local.
Shout out to Shy Food Local.
They have like 75,000 recommendations a week. So if you are looking for daily recommendations or 3 times a week at least, go to their Instagram. It's also Shy Food Local. And they brought us here just on a day that they were
We were
reviewing
just
this
chilling.
place.
We were just chilling.
I got
That
the
was good.
Bridgeport dog, which was I got the grilled dog. I forget what the toppings were. The girl behind the
Tomato,
counter was
relish.
amazing. Right, but cucumbers, onions, there was a little bit of everything in there, and it was amazing.
It was really
the
good.
The buns were so fresh.
That's what she said.
It was,
I do like some fresh buns in my hands and in my mouth.
I got you. That's what she said. I got you.
That's right. I did say mouth, by the way, just to really bring this home. Thank you.
But also with that though, it was split. The dog was split.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Is that not a normal thing?
I think Chicago is more normal than it is most places.
Yeah, they don't do it everywhere, but you notice
Yeah.
when you close the bun
Yes.
back together.
Yes.
That's
Back
true.
together.
Yeah. That's true.
And you can fit more condiments and things on there.
And the
So-
meat.
I'm going to share something embarrassing with you two now that we know each other so well.
Please do.
Wednesday nights at White Sox Park, whatever they call it now, guaranteed rate field, $1 hot dog night.
Oh.
So my friend Zach and I went a couple of years ago, 2019, before the big shutdown. $1 hot dog night, had a hot dog eating championship. Now,
What?
you guys don't know Zach, but guess how many he had to eat?
How many?
12.
He had 5.
Oh.
I had 7.
You had 7 hot dogs
I had 7 hot dogs. Just plain, a little bit of mustard.
in the stretch of the game, or did
The stretch of the game.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It started.
I feel like I could probably.
How
do
long
that.
is the game?
It's
I mean,
3
baseball,
hours,
3
3
hours.
and a half hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh,
I
all right.
I don't know. I've never
I
done it.
sense
but
a
I
new
feel like
championship
that's-
coming up.
Well, we could do
We'll
it.
go.
I think next
We'll go,
season, if they
Tommy.
bring it back, they didn't bring it back this past season.
Yeah.
You know, they got to make money. But,
You know, I think I want to
We'll,
do that.
we'll go to a soccer.
the point is, I like a hot dog. So when I come here to Fat Freddy's
Yeah.
on 31st in Union
Yes.
and get a Bridgeport dog,
Yes.
it's got to impress.
Does it
did.
meet your standard?
Oh boy, howdy!
Yeah. It was. I had a bite of yours, and it was very good.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm going to see if I can get Grubhub to bring them all the way up by me.
You know,
which
if
has
they-
got to be 10, 12 miles.
That's
I
an
don't
easy
think so.
$50 delivery
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Worth it. Yeah, worth
Yeah.
it. I had the what's called it's the special of the week. So it's called the Big Red. And what it had was meatball and Italian sausage. It's the first time I've ever had both of those together. She is.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
I set myself up for that.
No, you
You
did. I
Yeah,
want
I
to see
did.
how you're going to dig
You
yourself
had
out
a
of it.
meatball and a sausage. in the
Did he
same
ever?
bun? Okay.
Yeah. That's before you guys met. He was experimenting.
I did this to myself, y'all.
You
This
did.
is-
Yeah. This is what happens.
You know, I can't even describe the sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, this is-
It's the Sarah and Tommy show. You're our guest.
I literally lost my spot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
lost
what did
my-
you get? What is it called?
It was the Big Red, and it had meatballs and Italian sausage
It had-
with marinara.
Funny enough, it had 2 meatballs.
Yeah. And a big girthy sausage.
I'm not even lying. It had 2.
It looked pretty amazing. Honestly, even the picture, which is
sweet.
on the register, I can see it from
Yes,
here.
yes.
Looks amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet pepper was also on there too. So Chicagoans, we love our sweet pepper.
And it had like marinara sauce.
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic. Honestly, it was just the sandwich of the week. So I'd imagine what's next week because how
I
do
don't
you
know.
top
I
that
think
thing?
they have something. They have the meatball on their menu, so you can just get
You
the
just get
meatball with
yeah.
marinara.
They do it very good. You also had what Tommy had too.
Shit,
so-
I ordered. Yours was charred. Mine was grilled.
Yes.
So I don't know what the difference is.
I
to be
think it's the
honest.
same.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I had the same thing, and then I ordered a double cheeseburger. She gave me a triple. So
Hey,
I
I'm not
only
mad at it.
ate like
Yeah.
a
It was taller
third.
than I am.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not
it
a
was
tall
huge.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, check our Instagram. You'll see the picture right there. But it was really good.
Yeah, and not only that, see, they have a lot of kind of very Chicago breaded steak type stuff here. They got the pizza, that how we like it here in
Yeah.
Chicago. So that's what this place is, and we
Hold
only
up.
had a few things.
Hold up.
What's that?
How do you like your pizza in Chicago?
Thin.
Look,
How do you like it cut?
square.
Square.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you
tavern
go.
style.
There you
Good,
go.
cool.
There you go.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where have I?
Yeah. No, we got you. We
Want
got
to
you
make sure.
covered.
Want to make
Yeah.
sure.
But they sell all that here. They sell it all.
They also have an option to infuse everything on the menu.
Yes, they
and
do.
they have infused Italian ice. They have regular Italian ice, and you can infuse your drinks too.
Yes.
So
And they have a chart that you can choose how much infusion you want.
your percentage of infusion.
Yeah,
which is really
yeah.
cool.
So if y'all into that, you go ahead, go
Yeah,
crazy.
try it out.
Byron, Shafu Local, he did
Yeah.
it last time.
The
So,
word of the day is infusion.
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 You know what else they had, which is pretty cool, is buy one get one on the beer.
The beer, the domestic, right?
On the domestic. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Not sponsored by
Yeah.
Stella Artois,
Yeah.
but if you want
Stella?
to.
Well, and to be fair, it was buy one, get one. I think on the domestic, I said, give me whatever you have that you have too much of.
Yeah.
And so they gave me a Heineken and a Stella Artois, I
Yeah.
think, because both names are a little tough to
They are.
pronounce
I used to love Heineken.
in Plainfield. You used to love Heineken?
Oh, I love it.
But like when he was a child on the south side.
Sure, yeah.
Not, they didn't
Yeah.
have Heineken.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
When you grew up near
Jolly.
Joliet.
Jacques, somebody.
Jacques.
Is it? You can't say Joliet, right?
It's Joliet.
It is Joliet.
It is
Joliet.
Joliet?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The mall
right.
is called Louis Joliet Mall too. I don't know how I messed.
I once went on a history tour when I was in grade school where the woman said, even though it looks like Joliet and people are very jolly here,
Yeah.
it's pronounced Joliet. And I
People
was
are not-
like,
People are
that
not
is
jolly.
hacky as all get out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not
A, they're not all
Yeah.
jolly.
No.
But B, it stuck with
I
me all
don't
these
think.
years.
I think there's like 30 people that live there.
No,
I've
it's-
only ever seen like 12 at most
here's-
outside.
here's-
These numbers are not correct.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I used to take the train from ISU into the city, and we would pass through it, and there was never anyone.
where the train is there is not.
The Amtrak, it would stop by the.
Downtown Joliet is pretty dead, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
There's
pretty
no
dead.
one there.
Yeah, it's pretty dead.
was
I'm,
about to-
I'm looking up the Joliet population
Yeah, I
while
was
we
gonna
talk.
say-
So
about to
we can
correct me.
correct this.
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh.
whatever
What is it,
she's
like
saying,
10,000?
She said like.
I said 12, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's 150,000
No,
people
there isn't.
as of 2020.
Yeah.
That's.
There's a lot of people.
Where?
Yeah.
You thought there were 10,000 people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. You were off by 15.
And crazily enough, growing. It's actually up 10,000. No,
So
sorry, up
people-
3,000 people since 2010.
So people are actively moving there.
Look at this. 77 flavors of Joliet.
Yeah, hold on. I want to look up one more place.
You
Well,
Romeo
thinking
Field.
about
Playing
it.
field.
I'm not going to look up Romeoville. Although, you know what? I used to DJ at a roller rink in Romeoville.
First of all, you used to DJ.
Plainfield, Illinois, 44,000 people.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
small.
sense.
It's small.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's small. It was, everybody out
ISU
there.
is 25,000 people. So those.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Just the campus.
Right.
plain field
But
is-
once the kids clear out, there's like
There's nothing.
12 people.
Yeah. I was one of
About
them because I had nowhere to go.
Jordan.
I couldn't fly all the way.
Yeah, that'd be so.
It's a good one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But overall, what do you think of Freddy's?
Tommy, your
Thumbs up.
thoughts?
I got to tell you, if I lived here closer, I would be here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be that weird guy sitting in the back making jokes to
Yeah.
people for
Yeah.
no reason,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
actually eating anything,
Yeah,
or
that
drinking
was-
anything like that guy earlier
He was just sitting there. He was just sitting there. He was just sitting there.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I wish there were a place like this closer to me.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think when we first came here, I said we got to come back here
Yeah.
because like the vibe is cool. We came in the summertime, so baseball season was still kind
It
of
was
hot. Was hot right
packed.
there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
White Sox were good this year.
Yeah.
White Sox were good until the playoffs.
Until
but,
they weren't,
Yeah,
so.
You know what I really liked about being here today? My fries, by the way, perfectly salted. There was one tater tot.
Why not
Did you get a
two?
ta-
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I get a little tater tot in my fries, it's a good sign.
a good plate.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good luck right there. I'm pretty sure.
Had I known they had tater tots, I would have ordered those.
Would've
Yeah.
Because you always
Yeah.
go tater tots first.
Yep.
yeah,
always.
Right. You
I know,
really
I-
is
Yeah.
tater tots for you first?
Always. Yeah.
Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't argue.
Steak fries, crinkle cut. Yeah, I can work
Wait,
my way
crinkle
down.
cut after steak
After
fries?
steak
I
fries?
gotta tell you, steak fries, it's like a meal.
But
If
with
you get a
everything?
good salty slab.
Yeah.
But it depends on what I'm eating. Like my choice of potato depends on what is accompanying that meal.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Weird.
Would you not go tater tots with any meal?
I mean, I feel like tater tots I like a loaded tater tot. So like steak, tomato, sour cream, like green onions,
So
cheese.
tachos.
Yeah,
Hey.
tachos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I like tater
Yeah.
tots.
Yeah.
You can't eat them like regular, 'cause I can-
Hold on, I throw out tachos and you guys agreed, but for those of you listening who are like, what?
What the hell is-
It's nachos, but made with tater tots.
Tater
and they're
tots,
called
yeah.
tachos. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's that way everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
I
I'm pretty
think
sure.
it
I'm pretty
is.
sure.
All right.
I mean, that's the only way I've ever
I
seen
don't
it.
know.
Yeah.
Never.
It makes sense. Context clues.
Never in Plainfield. Go on. Never in Jordan. They don't make those in
No, they
Jordan.
don't.
No, they do
I
not.
I had never seen a tater tot in Jordan.
No.
I didn't even know what a tater tot was until I moved here.
Yeah.
Tater tots are
Maybe they have them now. I don't know. I've been gone for a while, but
pretty prevalent nowadays. I'd
You think
imagine.
in Jordan?
I mean, I feel like they've
He
crossed.
tries to keep his pulse on the finger of food in Jordan.
yeah.
Yeah, he's working with an import-export guy, shipping potatoes to Jordan to make tater tots.
the canal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have a canal in
What are you
Jordan.
talking about?
Yeah, it's import
They got
goods
the
here.
Dead Sea. That's.
Hey, whatever. What you think?
I mean, it's great. I love it. The only, if I had to critique one thing, it would be the menu is too big.
Oh,
Really?
I think too many options.
I thought most of them were the same.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
too
mean-
big.
Okay. I mean,
interesting.
'cause for
It,
the
it
most part-
overwhelms me when I'm looking. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that is something that
I like.
yeah.
I like. Give me the best.
So
and
you want
that's
like
it.
chicken, beef, fish,
yeah,
tater
airport.
tots, fries.
I just want airplane
Yeah.
options: chicken,
Yeah.
fish, beef,
Right,
vegetarian.
right.
That's what I
Oh,
want.
yeah, I didn't even consider vegetarian.
How dare you.
Because we're in
That's-
Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's crazy. No, you know what? I've been to a lot of places, same thing, where the menu is just a little too vast.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought okay. I mean, that's fair. I thought it was decent. Though.
It's just. It's not a negative. It's just a.
Yeah. It's just
you
a
know,
critique. But overall, I think we all agree here. Freddy's is
It's amazing. Yep.
Freddy's is fire. I mean, it's always been. This is what our third time here, and
Like at least. Yeah.
yeah, third time within like 6 months. So, and that seems crazy, not a lot, but we live on the north side, so to come down here is a little bit out of our way. But fantastic. Summertime spot, all the time
For
spot. It's very Chicago in here.
I think they have a patio in the summer too on the outside.
I think so
if I
too.
remember
I think so
correctly.
too.
Now let's see how much Sarah remembers. Which area, which neighborhood, which number are we?
Oh,
Here?
we're in Bridgeport. It's 60.
Nice.
Hey, look at
I
that.
remember that. See?
Yeah, there you go.
And which episode number is this?
28.
Hey,
I remember the math.
Look at you.
You know, I'm a math person,
Oh,
Tommy.
okay.
I'm
All right.
Don't
Listen,
ask me any
I'm
more
sorry.
questions.
Sorry to challenge you.
You know,
Jeez.
there was a thing we did one time.
Podcast turns dark. Go
We
on.
were literally sitting on the couch one day, and I was like, "What's 324 times 12?" And I said 10,000, and he said 15,000, and it was like 1,200. We were like, "Okay, maybe math is not it."
this is not what we're here for.
I was like, logically, the decimals, it can't be.
it's like 4,000 or something.
Listen, I knew a woman once who thought Joliet only had 12 people in the whole
well,
town.
you know what? This has been a
I
great
forget who she
episode.
was.
We've had a great time.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
That's all we got.
Thank you so much for having me.
listening. Oh,
I had a great time.
where can people listen to you? Where can people follow you?
ChicagoHistoryPodcast.com. Any of these social media sites all have variations of Chicago History Podcast. Spotify, Apple, you can ask Amazon to play the most recent Chicago History Podcast episode. It'll pop right up. All very handy.
YouTube too, right?
YouTube as well.
There you go.
Perfect.
Man.
All right. Well, if you guys like the episode, send it to someone you like. If you hate the episode, send it to someone you hate. And, just be blessed. We'll see you next Monday.
Hey, that's it. That's all. For Sarah, Tommy, I'm Dario. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of 77 Flavors of Chicago. We look forward to having you again next Monday. So make sure you look out for us on any platform where you can listen to a podcast. Make sure you rate, subscribe, and do all the things. And we'll see you next Monday.